All right, I'm in a beautiful nature. Look at this. Awesome yard. Lady over here is nice enough to let me film in front of her house. Hi. With her daughter playing in the field. Awesome people. Beautiful place out here on the side of the road. Beautiful neighborhood. And I can't believe, I don't know if it's Maryland or Pennsylvania, but I'm there somewhere. But we're coming to you live, Rogue Edition on the road. We're going to do a lot more of these. It's a lot of fun, actually. I kind of take people along with us on this journey as we're growing. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll do some Q&As. You guys put your comments or questions in the comment section, and we'll go through it one at a time. So, kind of going off of what happened, what we discussed on Tuesday, talked about sports and how it transfers over into the investment environment, and how I've used those items that I've learned through my experience through playing football, baseball, and other competitive sports, but how we take those skills and convert those over to allow me to utilize those skills to become a better investor, not just for myself, but for our partners, and how it's progressed each stage along the way. As we talked about on Tuesday, when you, like, for example, football, I played that for almost 15 years of my life. When you go from Pee Wee to high school, then to college, the stature of the playing field, the speed, the tenacity, the strategic planning, all of that elevates each stage of the game as you grow, as you move up. And it's the same way when it comes to investing. So with the mobile home parks, multifamily, anything like that I've done, we've gone from originally starting off when I was doing multifamily, I was looking for a way out. The maintenance was killing me, wasn't having a good time. And the cash flow versus your effort just didn't compute. It was just not nearly as I thought it was going to be, or as if people had said it was, or as I thought it was going to be. And then I stumbled across the book Deals on Wheels by Lonnie Scruggs. And that book fundamentally changed my way of thinking. I wanted to be the bank. I wanted something that had a lot less maintenance. And that's book came all about for flipping and fixing up, renovating, and selling mobile homes and holding the notes. Obviously, I read that book, did a few homes. I was able to quit three of my jobs. I think I did 5 homes in 3 months. Was able to quit the three jobs I was working because I had enough cash flow at the time, and then worked my way up to, and then going up to the next level. I bought a park because I realized if I'm just doing one or two homes at a time, why can't I do them all at one time and save myself a lot less of a headache? It's easier to manage because it's all together. It's not spread out in a portfolio across the counties. And so graduated up to then a park. Well, the problem is that when you go to that route, you're using your own funds, and you don't have but so many funds. I realized really quickly, to grow, I needed to work with partners and other investors that were like-minded, that really wanted a recession-resistant asset with huge high demand, a scarcity of them in supply, and the ability to leverage our time through ease of maintenance by owning the land and not the actual homes. So I started working with investors at that point and really syndicating deal by deal, and got very good at it. We built a huge portfolio. Bonnie came on full time. She was able to stop working managing hotels in Richmond, Virginia. And then we worked up to our way to an actual fund level because the deal flow is great. We're able to close quicker. We have a larger consortium of investors that allows us to pull out our funds better, get better negotiating deals. In fact, we closed one on Monday. If you call the last video, I was in Tampa airport at that video, going to visit those properties and see my CFO, Larry, to talk about getting our call set up and some structural planning going on since we closed. But that allowed me, because we have a consortium of investors, to get an absolutely amazing off market deal, because we're able to close quickly and we have our management in play with our verticals. So we're vertically integrated. So again, moving up the chain, we went from flipping mobile homes to buying our first park with our own money, to working with partners, and then to an actual fund level where we have consortium of partners and investors that work with us. And that allowed us to grow and have verticals. So we are vertically integrated, meaning that we have affiliate companies, that is our acquisition fund. We have our management company that manages all of our properties and acquisitions. Our dealership, which then sells the homes to fill vacant pads or sell the current home inventory that we get when we purchase a park. And then finally, our finance company that will finance the sale of the manufactured home to the tenant. So there's four verticals, and we control the entire supply chain for each investment we do. And that's a whole that's the top tier, and that's where we are now. And the reason why it's such a learning curve is because you're not ready until you physically go through those steps. And I've met other operators, and there's other fun guys and gurus and what have you. And what you'll see is they have a finance background. I came from a grassroots operations background, learned all this on my own dime, worked our way up, put all my sweat, blood, and tear. Bonnie invested everything we had. We're living off her paychecks and her credit cards for quite a while because I didn't have any credit when we started out. But going through that pain and that process and learning and scrapping and being off market and having to be extremely strategically thinking outside the box and extremely creative on how to get these deal structures done. Because again, when you're using your own money, you don't have any. I had to get real creative because I can't buy these multi-million-dollar assets when I've only got a few thousand, not even 100,000 to close. And that's a story for another time. I've done quite a few of them, but we had to get creative. So we've been through that pain. We've been through the sweat, blood, and tears. We've been through the growing, and we've seen the opportunities because we're in it. We're in it day to day. We're in it every day, and we can see here's a hole that can be filled. Here's a service that's not being underutilized. Here's something that our competitors aren't doing. So having that allows us to grow so quickly and broadly and have these great, huge returns for not only ourselves, but for our investors because we have that background where the others that may not have that operational background, they come straight in, just raise funds, buy, jack up rents, and then they have a management problem on their hands. And then they ironically contact me wanting me to manage their properties, which we're looking into in the future because, you know, mismanaged properties it's a great source of potential deal flow. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent, but obviously opportunities. So being hands in, hands on every single day, being creative and working way up and just never quitting, taking those skills. I got all those skills from football and sports through the gradual progression of how you start at Pee Wee to high school to college, learning how to be more creative, to be a little more different and apply that new knowledge and skill to your position so you can be more effective on the field. So I've got there's a few people on today. We're growing again. This is beautiful out here. Got some few questions, and if anybody wants to ask them, then I'll go ahead and go to chat and we'll look on those. But I know one question I've gotten a lot is, what's the biggest skill or what's the biggest thing you've learned from playing football that you carried over to investing in mobile home parks and with raising your fund? And that one skill would be able to understand and see myself in other shoes. So with playing in football, you come out of your hometown and everyone's hometown's a little small and you're really cohesive and it's very, you know, cultural based on that area. But when you go to a larger school and you're pulling from the best athletes all over the country, they have the backgrounds of places that you would never consider or see, people you would never talk to on a normal street. So being with them and working together and really a family and brotherhood. I love those guys. I still talk to them today. But being able to see those different backgrounds and apply it and understand being in their shoes. Because ultimately, and this is any kind of real estate investment at all, if you don't understand your customer, your tenant, your end base, what drives them, what makes them work, what makes them tick, what they're looking for, then you can't sell. And if you can't sell, you can't cash flow. If you can't cash flow, the property value goes down. If property goes, then you lose money. So it's all uphill, and it's kind of backwards. There's a lot of people that buy the property, we'll figure it out along the way. I want to know my tenant base. I want to know culturally that area. I want to know the demographics to the T. What's the disposable income? How are they feeling towards manufactured home communities? Is the area growing? All those are way more considered than just the location, because we have strategic pockets that we have across the Southeast and Southern Midwest that we know without a doubt are going to grow. They're hot pockets. I know them. We've been investing in them for a long time. The culture's great. It's very pro development. We're in a path of progress. So I know that area, no matter what we do, is going to increase and appreciate the value of each asset that we buy. So we take a reverse approach. We have target areas and we understand the culture, and then we'll go find the properties versus doing a shotgun approach, which a lot of people do. Will they get on LoopNet or Crexy or CoStar or these broker sites, and they let it come in and they see this deal flow. Oh, this looks good. Let's go do that one. Versus we have a set parameter, and brokers and people we deal with know If it's not in that area or it doesn't fit that buy box or that parameter, then we're probably not interested. And just because we have a proven formula. Another thing I do get asked as well is how am I able to grow and move up the chain with taking that knowledge of going into an unventured area and to, working and getting larger and scaling without losing our core values of delivering a livelihood and a value and a community feel to our tenants while getting these great returns. And what I would say is all about how you buy. Just like everyone else says, it's you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. Now apartments are a little bit different. They make their money when they sell and they don't really appreciate. But when we purchase these assets, these parks, these communities, they're very heavily undervalued. There's a management is either non-existent or not there. There's a lot of deferred maintenance, there's vacancies, and we have such an upside that we're able to, again, because we're vertically integrated, we're able to turn these properties over fairly quickly. But we go in underwriting and knowing that these are our numbers we've got to hit. We've got to hit an all-in sale for and financing for our tenant to include all of our expenses, the lot rent, the home payment, insurance, utilities, everything to equal around 60 to 65% of the market value, the market going rate for a same size apartment unit complex. So for example, if there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home or apartment complex that's renting at $1,500 in a month, then we're going to make sure that all of the lot rent, the home sales, finance, the utilities and insurance, all that for the tenant comes in at $1,200 or lower. So we're going to be about 65% or so of the market rate for those apartment complexes. And it does two things. Number one, it makes it affordable. And that's why we have such a low turnover. We have less than a 3% turnover in all the homes that we finance. Number one, it's affordable. So there's a lot less turnover. The tenant has skin in the game. They're going to stay in our properties longer, again, leading to turnover, but they'll also bring family members and others. We've had routinely tenants that would pay off a home quickly, go just to buy another home to then have a family member move in there, or they actually rent it out and how they have disposable income. And then secondly, we can increase our rents gradually without putting pain on our tenant, which allows for a better, more cohesiveness feel with the community without any kind of uproar or upsetting effect on tenants that have been there already versus just the new tenants. And the demand is going to be high because we're a price leader in our area. So we'll be comparable, the same, if not higher than other mobile home parks. But with multifamily, we are obviously the better choice. You have your own home that you own that's going to appreciate in value. And that, by the way, when you pay it off, your monthly payment goes down considerably. You have your own yard, your own parking space, and your own fenced in lot where you can have animals. And then it's just more secure. You don't have anyone above your head stomping on the ceiling, yelling and screaming, or anyone to the side or below. I remember living in apartments with my children, 2, 3 years old. They like to run around. And obviously they're learning how to walk, they stumble and they stomp their feet a little bit. Well, nothing's worse than when your children are playing, you're enjoying yourself, and then there's someone below you taking a broomstick, you get banging on the ceiling, scaring your children to death. That's just not a way to live. Now you're walking on eggshells because now you're worried about retaliating. So we realized during COVID that our demand just skyrocketed because people were tired of being in that kind of environment and wanted something more separated, that they have a more peaceful place to live in. And having those values, all three of those things together, we go in knowing with a strategic plan before we even get close to closing. In fact, during due diligence, we have a plan already that allows us to have that community feel and give that livelihood to our tenants. And that's why we're so successful. Again, we could go in and jack everything up right off the bat, never care who we are or tenants are. And there's plenty of guys that do that. However, those properties, they don't appreciate nearly as much. They don't ride out the long-term recession, the hard times. And especially during COVID when we had eviction moratoriums, we still had our rental payments coming in where a lot of others were taking forbearances and having issues with those rents in because the tenants just didn't care. And when you treat them like a tool or a number on a spreadsheet, they know, everyone knows. And that's one thing we're very proud of. We won't go away from. So again, with mobile home parks, what we say is we purchase parks, but we turn them into communities. And so there's a bad stereotype when it comes to Hollywood, obviously with multiple films like 8 Mile, other things like that in the news and the media. If you look at any show, the drug lord or the criminal is always living in a trailer park or mobile, and that's just a stigma we get. However, ULI came out the last 2 years, which is the Urban Land Institute, large organization that studies migration, development, and best use of land throughout the United States. Large organization came out with a study in the last 2 years that manufactured homes actually appreciate at the same or higher rate than stick-built homes. And the reason being is supply. There's such a huge demand for affordable housing, and there's such limited supply versus that demand that these properties have skyrocketed. In fact, the same homes that when I started out flipping mobile homes, after reading the book and working my job, 3 jobs, when I started out, all I had was $1,500. But that was enough for me to buy my first home. Had a few $100s to renovate. I bought it for $1,000. I worked with another guy in my office. We did another one, but was able to buy it for $1,000, put some money into it, and sell it to the tenant, knowing that they would put some money into it and fix it up. But now they had a home that they owned. Their payment was extremely low compared to going into a rental house or apartments. And having that up front, and it allowed me to grow quickly and flourish, and it became repeat customers. But then we've got other items as well. So going on the slide, I'm getting off here. There's tax benefits. Obviously, there's accelerated depreciation, which allows us to take off a lot of gains on all of our investments. We always cost seg. In fact, we're ordering one this week for the property we closed on Monday. But we always get a cost segregation that allows us to greatly depreciate our acquisitions, allowing for better tax shields against returns, not only for us, but for our investors as well, because it's spread across the whole portfolio. We also can accelerate, depreciate the mobile homes themselves. So manufactured homes have a depreciation life of between 7 to 15 years based on how you approach the valuation model. So you're getting depreciation on the homes as well as you're getting depreciation on the land and all the infrastructure that's included. So, and not including the third piece is that we're able to use our CapEx, so a lot of capital expenditures, so including renovation of utility lines, putting in new infrastructure, electrical lines, paving roadways. All of those items can be tax deductible because it's a permanent fixed improvement to the land that we can then write off as well. So routinely, we will purchase parks, get the cost seg, and then do our CapEx. And that'll offset a lot, if not all of our gains for the first 2 to 3 years until we stabilize. And so we'll purchase within 24 months, we'll stabilize, meaning we filled out vacancies. We have rents up to where they need to be at market rate. It greatly increases the value of the community. And then we're able to refi with a bank or other lending institution and get back all of our initial investment to purchase the property. So all of our down payment, the expenditures and expenses operating that community, plus additional profit. And that's how we work with our investors. That's how we got so successful, is that we're able to go in, purchase really great deal structure. We stabilize very quickly through our verticals that we have already implemented. And then we can refi out within 24 months or less, getting back capital to our partners, and then we can then invest that in capital, expanding the portfolio, but without increasing our demand for upfront invested funds. So we're getting to the end of the video. How do you get started? How we go from here? I'll be doing a lot of these videos every week, 2 times a week, unless there's an occasion. We're doing video podcasts, a few other things. I do on-site visits. If you guys would like to come and visit one of our properties with me and walk it with me and see how we do that, I do learning webinars as well. But watching these videos will be definitely helpful. We're going to get more into the thick of it, more into the actual strategic processes and learning about what parks are, how they're developed, how we evaluate them. All that's to come. You're always welcome to schedule a call with me. You can work with my AI. My AI is Major Hilliard.ai. And that's the AI clone of myself. It talks just like me. It sounds just like me. Ask anything you want. It's available 24/7. You can schedule a call with me at any time you want. We can do a 30-minute, 45-minute call. Speak with you and just see what your investment goals are and what you're looking for in a partnership or tax return shield that we can really benefit through an investment of mobile home communities and then selling them and stabilizing them to manufacturing community parks. And then obviously you can sign us out on the social on LinkedIn. I'll be doing a lot of reels and other videos. So eh, be sure to subscribe, click on the link below, subscribe, ask any questions you have in the comments, and come back week to week because we'll be giving out all kind of nuggets of information. And we're excited to learn and work with new investors and expand the relationship we have with already our partners within the fund. Until then, we'll see you next time.